The sci-fi film Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, this is such a fun addition to the franchise. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and more importantly, it does things so differently than what became beforehand. It just becomes a exciting adventure from beginning to end, in my opinion. I honestly didn't know how this fourth installment was going to turn out because there are a lot of film franchises out there that when they get to that fourth movie, it's awful. But this film here does a whole lot to keep it from being a bore fest. So the story continues as the Enterprise crew is intending to return back to Earth to face consequences for their actions from the previous movie. When they get there though, the Earth is in extreme danger from an alien probe that's trying to contact the now extinct humpback whales. In order to save their home, James T. Kirk and his crew travel back in time 300 years in the past to the 20th century in order to retrieve some humpback whales that can answer the probe's call. Honestly, I never knew that time travel was a thing in this franchise, so I was quite surprised just seeing the Enterprise crew in the 1980s not only learn about their customs but interacting with everyday people as well. It was quite a different contrast considering the previous three movies took place either in outer space or another planet. It's certainly a different type of Star Trek story than what I'm used to, but I really did enjoy watching this. The comedy works really well here. I like the interactions James T. Kirk had with new characters such as Dr. Gillian Taylor. And this is one of those movies that I think is one of the best sci-fis from that decade. I personally like just how lighthearted this movie is because the last two entries, yeah, they were dark. I mean, James T. Kirk, he lost his son in the previous film. He went through a lot in the last three movies entirely. William Shatner, he always did a great job playing James T. Kirk. In this, he's Admiral. So when he realizes that he has to go back in time in order to get two humpback whales, it leads to a lot of comedic moments all throughout the movie. Is this movie over the top? No, it's not, thankfully, because while it is tongue-in-cheek, it doesn't do too much to really stand out as being absurd. I also like how good the acting is of the late Leonard Nimoy, Spock. He has more of a comedic role here, and I really did like that. This is like one of my favorite characters in this franchise. Sure, this movie doesn't have a clear-cut villain, but it never needed to be. It wouldn't have made any sense if there was a villain here. I mean, there's really no action in this film. And, you know, I don't mind that because just how dark the last three entries were. It's good for the film like this to be lighthearted, to be funny, and not to take itself seriously. Catherine Hicks did such a good job playing Dr. Gillian Taylor. I like this character. I was half expecting her to fall in love with James Kirk, but I'm thankful that didn't happen because a lot of movies during the time this had came out, they will force in a romance. I'm thankful that is not the case here. It is unfortunate that she never did return to the next two installments after this because I really do like her character and it's just a shame we never see her again. Anyway, I like the music, I like the acting, I like the cinematography during the time. There's a lot of good things to really appreciate about a film like this. This is such a classic that I'm definitely going to go back and rewatch it again someday because it's just that memorable in my opinion. I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. Yeah, without question, my favorite installment of the franchise up to this point. It just has so many great things that just makes it fun to watch. One thing I want to point out though, why did Dr. Gillian abandon her life in 1986 to go live in the 23rd century? I don't get it. Was her life that sad that she had to just leave her past to go live in the future? What about her family? What about her parents? She just straight up leaves 1986 like it's nothing. Anyway, nitpicking aside, this is just such an enjoyable cinematic experience that even 40 years later, it still holds up pretty well in my opinion. And that's my review of Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.